Mike and Michelle here with you on this Tuesday. It is June, but we're talking about some cold weather across parts of the country.
Yeah, believe it or not, we have some frost advisories in place. We're also going to be talking about how you can help your golf game, something you probably need a little bit of help with, and rain in the west as well.
All right, I didn't know you were watching me in the driving range, but anyway, the frost advisory is in effect just north of the Montreal and Trois-Rivières area, and that extends, as we mentioned, into parts of Atlantic Canada. So anyone with a green thumb, probably bring the plants indoors.
Yeah, be very careful with your frost-sensitive plants. And we are still dealing with that area of low pressure in the Maritimes, but we are watching high pressure push in by the time we get to Wednesday. Speaking of high pressure, it's been beautiful in southern Ontario, and Chrissy Van is hitting the links.
Now in southern Ontario, will we have golfing weather over the next few days? Well, Wednesday, Thursday look pretty good. Chance of showers in our nation's capital on Friday. Toronto, similar story, getting above seasonal for Friday, then dipping down a little bit for the weekend.
That's right. We're watching a cold front as we head into the weekend. That has the potential of not only bringing some showers, but we could also see some thunderstorms as well. Not much in the way of convection this afternoon through the southern prairies, though.
As we move further west, back against the Rockies, some heavy rain with potentially some thunder showers, Michelle.
That's right. Convection is associated with this surface low, so we could see some thunderstorms through the BC interior.
Not a fan of the cold winter-like weather. So summer will be here before you know it. And we also have our summer forecast. So stay tuned really throughout the day. We'll be replaying our summer outlook. So what will summer be like in your area? Stay tuned to find out.
Hi, you're watching the Weather Network. It is Tuesday, June the 2nd. Michelle Mackey with you. We are watching 3 lows bringing some active weather to Canada. 1 low over the Maritimes, a low affecting the southern prairies, and a surface low in BC. Now, yesterday was the start of the North Atlantic hurricane season. Jacqueline Whittle breaks down the details. Thanks, Jacqueline. We are watching that surface low in BC bring some active weather this afternoon. Not only do we have rainfall, but we do have convection in this system, which means we do have the chance of seeing some isolated, non-severe thunderstorms through the interior. And then a ridge of high pressure will build in Wednesday through until Friday. That will dry things out west to east. But before we get here, here's how much rainfall we are contending with. You'll note the higher amounts are relegated to the interior of BC, where we could see 20 to 40 millimeters of rain. As we track further to the east, we are also dealing with rainfall through the southern prairies. Unlike yesterday, not much convection associated with this system. This is going to be in the form of rainfall widespread, looking at anywhere from 10 to 20 millimeters before things dry out midweek. And as we move into Ontario is nice because it's kind of sandwiched in between activity in the west and east. Things nice and dry, a little bit cooler than what we usually see this time of year. And the rainfall continues in Atlantic Canada. More on your Atlantic Canada story right after this. Hi, you're watching the Weather Network. It is Tuesday, June the 2nd. Michelle Mackey and Mike Arsenault with you. Let's dive into our developing stories.
Well, Michelle, unlike the month of May, we have quite a bit of rain to talk about from coast to coast. And that is good news for the west as the rain is filling up the reservoirs.
That's right, and we do have some rain along the border thanks to a low over North Dakota, and we're still dealing with a low in Atlantic Canada, and that is bringing with it some extensive rainfall.
That's right, 3 areas of low pressure across the country we are keeping our eye on through Thursday morning. 10 to 20 millimeters for parts of Nova Scotia, upwards of 30 to 40 for extreme southeastern Newfoundland.
Here's Nathan Coleman with more. Thanks, Nathan. And we have some much needed rain on the way for BC. I mean, when we look at the May totals here, this is well below our average, Mike.
That's right. And June is starting off a lot better. Check this out.
When we look at our forecast for BC, you can see this area of low pressure. It's an upper level low. Not only is that bringing with it the rainfall, but we do have the potential of seeing some thunderstorms as well.
As it moves to the north, and this is a little bit different from what we saw during the month of May. Now, in this area of the interior, there was a chance for convection and lightning through the month of May, but it was dry lightning. This is going to be different. So if any storms that spark up through the interior, Williams Lake toward Prince George, looking at some heavy rainfall, and there's a look at the total amounts, potentially.
That's right, be clearing some things up.
Now, as we move a little bit further to the east into the prairies, how much rainfall? Lesser amounts through southern Saskatchewan and southern Manitoba, but extreme southeastern Manitoba into northwestern Ontario, 30 to 40 millimeters. So, Michelle, now that we are in a new month, of course, it is the month of June. Summer will be here before you know it. But yesterday also marked the beginning of the hurricane season. And coming up later in the hour, Jacqueline Whittle will be here breaking down the beginning of hurricane season.
Happy Tuesday. You're watching the Weather Network. Michelle Mackey with you. I hope you've had a nice start to the work and school week. When we look at our systems across Canada, we've got three big players. We have one in Atlantic Canada, and then we have two affecting Western Canada. Widespread, we're looking at showers and thunderstorms, but good news for Ontario, sandwiched in between all of that activity. High pressure in place, lots of sunshine. Now the temperatures are a little bit cooler than what we typically like to see for this time of year, but good news, they're on the way up by the end of the week. This evening, though, if you do have any plans that are going to extend into the overnight, keep in mind we are going to be dropping down into the single digits. And an easterly breeze means we're really keeping those temperatures quite cool down by the lake. We get that easterly breeze. It blows across the cool waters of Lake Ontario, and that's why we see those temperatures quite chilly down by the lake for the overnight, and they're going to remain below seasonal for the next few days. You'll note that Wednesday, Toronto, we're only getting up to 19 degrees. But hey, 19, it's still nice, it's still mild, not enough to warrant any complaints. Now things are going to change, as I mentioned. Thursday and Friday will finally see a return to temperatures into the low 20s, but something's going to happen. Watch this. This is a cold front, and that is going to be making its way into southern Ontario by the time we move into Friday. Friday afternoon, Friday evening, we do have the chance of seeing some activity in the form of some showers and some thunderstorms as well embedded in that front. In behind, on Saturday, we will see a clearing, but the temperatures are going to fall slightly. I had big plans for a Jays game on Friday night, really hoping that the Dome was going to be open, but not sure at this point. For the next 7 days in Toronto, you'll see those temperatures creeping up. There's your moisture on Friday, and Saturday morning still going to be dealing with that moisture and until things clear out for the rest of the weekend. And over the next day or so, we could experience another 100 millimeters of rain for New Jersey. As we look across the country today, down into the states, you'll note that the highest chance of seeing some of that severe weather and thunderstorms is relegated to the central northern plains. And that is bringing some active weather to the southern prairies as well. Stay with us. Your locals are next on the 10s. Wow, incredible medical advances there. Michelle Mackey with you. You're watching the Weather Network. As we look to Atlantic Canada, high pressure in place for Newfoundland, but the temperatures are quite cool, especially the surface temperatures overnight. And that has triggered Environment Canada to issue a frost advisory. Also a frost advisory in place through the overnight for the Laurentians. As we look across the country, still dealing with unsettled weather in the west.